This tennis player is about to make the worst possible mistake during a doubles point. Did you catch what it is? This player is about to make the very same mistake. Are you catching it? Every tennis player that plays doubles knows that you're supposed to cover the middle. But guess what? Hardly anybody does. And in this special lesson, I'm going to explain why and how you can do it substantially better than you currently are to make the game much, much harder for your opponents and make winning much, much easier for you. First, let's lay the foundation with a little bit of an illustration here so you can see exactly what we're talking about. Where we've got the blue team versus the yellow team in this doubles points, and I want you to imagine that the ball is being hit by this player right here back at the baseline. So the yellow team is trying to position themselves as best as they can to make the job of the blue player back at the baseline difficult. Principle number one is these two yellow players cannot cover the entire width of the court all the time. It's 36 feet. And best case scenario, you probably take up about 6 feet of space, which means it would take 6 of you, fingertip to fingertip, to cover the entire width of the court. So principle number one is we can't cover all of it with our partner, which means we have to be intelligent about what we cover and what we do not cover. We need to make sure that we leave exposed difficult targets while we shut down easy targets. So from this blue player's perspective right here, if just for conversation right now, just for illustration, if we take out the lob, then we've got three, I know the lob's a big deal, but let's just put it on the back burner just for right now, okay? This blue player has got three primary options. This is option number one, to try to hit around that first player. Option number two is to go right down the middle of the court in between the two players. And option three is to try to hit around the other player cross court. Now I want you to just think about this for a second and just look at it. Which of those three targets do you think should be the easiest, technically speaking? For me, the easiest target is this one right here. This is the easiest target because the net's the lowest. We've got the most amount of court to work with. We're aiming right through the center of the court. This is why every coach yells at you to not leave the middle open. The next easiest target is this one. It's harder than going down the middle, but not nearly as difficult as this sharp angle over here. I mean, you really have to thread the needle to go from this position past your partner, past your opponent, and hit that sharp of an angle. So what we've got here is three different positions that are important to have in mind, but critically here, we've got easiest down the middle, we've got second easiest down the line, and then we've got most difficult, the sharp angle to the other side of the court. And so if that's true, and it is, spoiler, high-level players aren't positioning themselves like this, where the yellow circles are. Let me show you where they are positioning themselves when the ball is on one side of the court. All right, we're in the middle of a point now with four incredible doubles players. We've got the Bryan brothers on the far side. They're the blue team in the illustration we just looked at. And then we've got Bupati and we've got Leander Paes here at the net. They're the yellow team in the illustration we just looked at. And look at how this is setting up exactly in the example that we were looking at. As Bob hits this backhand from out in the corner back at the baseline, I want you to look at the position of the two players at the net as they come down into their split step. Leander Paes is shutting down the easiest target right through the very center of the court. Then Bupati is covering shot number two that we talked about. And what are they leaving open? They're leaving exposed on purpose shot number three. So what they've done here is they've created a priority list. They've covered the easiest one. It's locked down. They've covered the second easiest one. It's locked down. And they have purposefully, deliberately left the easiest one off to the side. They're essentially telling Bob, if you'd like to try to hit that one, go ahead and try. We know we can't be in all three places at once. There's only two of us, so we're going to leave you the most difficult one on purpose and make your job as difficult as possible. Here's midpoint, another point in that match, as Leander Paes gets ready to hit this backhand and Bob and Mike make their split steps. look at where they're positioned. They've locked down the easiest target right through the actual center of the court. They've locked down the second easiest target, and they have left exposed on purpose the third target, the most difficult of the three. That's why this is such a big mistake. I'm going to show you the drill to fix this in just a second. But look at how far away these two players start. And then when this player shifts, because he's anticipating this shot going out towards the alley, watch his partner just watch and spectate as her partner continues to go out towards the ball. And now look at how far away they are. We've just doubled the amount of space in between these two players, which leaves an incredibly easy opportunity for our opponents on the very next shot to hit the easiest spot on the court without much challenge at all. And here's the second point we looked at. Watch how the player in green gets this angle, has to hustle out to the right to cover. His momentum continues to pull him further and further off the court. And his partner, all she's concerned about is just kind of like staying out of the way and not getting hit. As he hustles towards this ball, she should, ironically, actually be leaning, moving with him in this direction. But because she's mostly concerned about not getting hit, that's opening up actively a gigantic gap of court in between the two of them and the easiest possible target for their opponents to try to hit on the very next ball. High-level doubles players are able to consistently cover target 1, target 2, and leave target 3 by keeping tabs on where the ball is going so that they know where target 1, 2, and 3 is, and also by keeping tabs on their partner and where their partner is headed. And by knowing those two pieces of information, they're able to dynamically flow side to side and back and forth, never leaving an easy opportunity for their opponents. As soon as you lose track of where the ball is going and where your partner is, and you start just kind of getting sucked into your own head, your own thoughts, then your partner is going to start going in one direction, you'll go in another direction, and the middle of the court opens wide up. If you want to play your best doubles ever, then you need three things. You need a great local court to practice on, you need great practice partners, and at some point you're going to need a coach to expertly guide you to the next level and the next level and the next level. And today's video sponsor, Play Your Court, provides all three of those in an incredibly convenient way. They have one of the world's largest databases of courts, passionate players, and passionate coaches. And today, if you go to essentialtennis.com/play, or if you click the first link in the description down below, then you can get a special deal off a membership from Play Your Courts to find your local best possible courts, local most passionate players, and local most insightful coaches as well. It is the best friend of a passionate tennis player like yourself, and they've helped sponsor this video. So to say thank you and to level up your game and continue improving your skills, go to essentialtennis.com/play now and check out all the details for yourself. Huge thank you to playyourcourt.com for sponsoring this video. Now let's get right back to the coaching. My favorite all-time drill to work on this ability to be aware of the ball's location and your partner's location is called the figure eight drill. Again, we've got the yellow team and the blue team. This is a cooperative rally where we're gonna have the yellow team hit everything cross court and the blue team is gonna hit everything down the line. Our goal is to maintain a controlled, calm exchange back and forth and just allow the ball go through this pattern. So if the yellow team is cross court, we'll start off the ball in this direction, and then blue player is going to hit their shot down the line. Yellow team is hitting everything cross court. Blue team is hitting everything down the line. And so by the time we go all the way through the pattern, we've got a figure eight. So you can call this X drill, maybe, whatever you want. But as the ball travels from side to side, the idea here is all four players move in unison, side to side, and track with the ball. Let me show you how this actually looks. Here's a practice session with some of my students, and we've opened up the pattern here. They don't have to follow the figure eight pattern, but we're practicing maintaining correct spacing between ourselves and our partners. So let's follow along here. So ball goes a little bit to the right, and watch how everybody's going to move in that direction. But somebody on the court doesn't move quite as much. And it's going to seem at first like I'm kind of nitpicking here, but look at the starting distance between these two players and the starting distance between these two players. And now watch the ball as it travels to the right, and the player in red has to go get the ball. The player in gray and the player in blue both sync and track with him, but watch the player in yellow just kind of hang out. And so we're the same distance still between these two players, but look at how now we've got increased distance between these two players. This is every foot, every inch of disparity between how much your partner moves and how much you move, and where the ball moves, and whether or not you and your partner actually track with the ball is going to leave easier targets for your opponents. And to the degree you're aware of this and you can lock it down, is how much more difficult you make the job of winning for the people on the other side of the court. So let's continue this rally here. So the ball goes down the middle. This ball goes down the middle. Player in blue tries to get it but can't. Player in gray plays it off his frame. And now I want you to watch all four players on the court. The ball is now traveling kind of unexpectedly to the left. Watch the player in gray and yellow and red all take off in that direction. And what direction is the player in blue moving? So actively, we've got dynamic movement in the right direction, dynamic movement in the right direction, dynamic movement in the right direction. And just for about a half a second, this player in blue started shifting in the wrong direction, which means, where is the liability? As the player in yellow gets closer, the player in blue recognizes, oh crap, I went the wrong way. But guess what? It's already too late. And there's wide open court in the worst possible place right in between these two players. By the way, the middle is always dynamically shifting. There's the literal middle, which is like, exactly in the center of the court. But as the ball travels right or left, and as the players correctly move with the ball, the center, the geometric center between yourself and your partner is constantly shifting too. And if you or your partner can't keep up with the action, you are actively opening easy targets for your opponents. Do the figure eight drill. Become more aware of these principles, and I promise you'll be a much better doubles player very fast. And if you'd like some training partners to be able to do the figure eight drill with, go to playyourcourt.com by going to essentialtennis.com/play to get your discount to be able to find the best training partners possible right on your local courts, or to find a local coach right on your favorite local courts that can give you high quality guidance and training so that you can keep elevating your skills. Again, that's at essentialtennis.com/play. Huge thank you to playyourcourt.com for providing such an incredibly valuable resource to everyday tennis players. I hope you take full advantage of it. Thanks for watching today, and I'll talk to you again soon.